We have Marcel Dixon, Gregg Marcel Dixon. He's running for the 6th Congressional District in South Carolina. That happens to be also where Congressman James Clyburn has been for the last 30 years. Marcel, number 4 Congress is where you can follow him on Twitter. And you made your case. You made your case. Tanya Pinkins is here as well. Marcel, what did you teach? What do you still teach?
Yes, I'm on summer vacation right now, thankfully. So I've taught elementary, middle, and high school, and I've won awards for my teaching. My students have won awards for when I've taken them to competitions like Model United Nations, and we will go against schools that were much wider than us, way richer than us, because, well, we're the 6th poorest place in the United States of America. So most places are going to be richer than us. And my kids, we will be the blackest team. Usually I will have the most girls than any other team. And we will come back. Never quite got the first place, but we will come back with 2nd place, beating 30 other
What's
kids.
The competition?
Model United Nations.
What are y'all competing?
Model United Nations. It's like the United Nations. You write resolutions, and you have to see if the resolution you write is going to be the one that the committee votes to approve. And my kids, you have to speak, you have to make arguments, you have to answer questions. And I would take kids from a school where when they start, 20% are not reading on or above grade level. And I'm not bragging, but I'm bragging on my kids. And by the time I will finish with them, it would be 70 to 80% of them will be reading on above grade level. So I'm proud of my portfolio as a teacher. That's why I know I can do good as a congressman. Teachers have no authority, no support, no respect, get paid nothing. We're doctors, we're lawyers, we're counselors, we're parents, we're police officers sometimes. We have to be detectives. And yet I've been able to take classrooms where kids had extreme BS behaviors, 20% reading on above grade level, 80% on above grade level, and some of those kids getting scholarships and will then write later on and thank me for that years later. So teaching is a tough job, but it's also been one of the highlights of my life.
Okay, you do well. 866-801-8255. You ready to take some calls? Somebody on Twitter said, he's not running for a little island of black people. And I was like, well, actually, the 6th district is a predominantly black island. You're actually running to represent a small island of black people. So
right, it's plenty of majority black islands, actually.
Somebody else wanted to know, if you lose, are you not voting?
If I lose, I am going to vote. I'm going to write in a black agenda. So yeah, I'll be voting, all right, but I won't be voting for Clyburn. No, I will not. Okay. Why would I want to vote for someone who has us at the most poorest, worst water, highest eviction rates? More black people get their arms and legs amputated here in his district than anywhere else in America. Okay, highest land theft. Okay. No, I will not vote to continue that.
You made the case.
I will run again.
Okay, let's take callers. Let's take callers. Ralph in Illinois, you're on. Welcome. Hi. Ralph.
Hi, Karen. Hi, Mr. Dixon. How are you?
Good.
I'm good. How are you?
All right. Thanks for being an educator. I'm an educator as well. I heard your case. I have 2 questions for you. Politics is math. So a lot of the things that you said about your district in South Carolina, number one, on a local level, what have you done to help change the Republican makeup in South Carolina, because that's local? And 2, let's talk about federally. You have Tim Scott and another Republican senator, and what have you done to help oust those? Because with 2 senators from your state as Democrats, that would cancel out the other 2 wannabe Republicans. Other 2 wannabe Democrats, which would let Kamala Harris make the deciding vote, which could help federally at your local level. What have you done on a local level to change the Republican makeup? And what have you done on a federal level to help change the Senate makeup?
Thank you for those questions, Rob. Well, first of all, what I'm doing on a local level is I'm educating our students, okay, and helping them make the best informed decision. I don't preach party loyalty. So, no, I am not churning out little kids and saying vote for the Democrats. I teach my students to examine every policy and vote for the policy that's going to be best for them. And what a lot of people who look like me, and even white people who don't look like me, are seeing is that all parties, both of them, have sucked. Second of all, I want to talk about the federal level. I get a little sick and tired of when I start holding Congressman Clyburn accountable and the Democrats, people bring up the Republicans. Let me respond to that really briefly. One, the Democrats get 90 to 95% of Black American votes. If I buy a TV from Walmart and that TV is defective, I'm not going to go to Target and say, hey, y'all sold me a defective television. I'm going to go to Walmart. Likewise, as a Black American, it is not going to fly with me telling me it's the Republicans who are causing all the problems. I vote for you. So if I vote for you, you better be able to deliver. Second of all, let's talk about the Democrats. Running as a Democrat, the way a Democrat should run, putting Black Americans first. The Democrats have had the majority, the House, the Senate, and the White House in the 90s, in the early 2000s, Obama's first election, and they have it now. And H.R. 40, like Mr. Hunter mentioned, has been sitting there collecting dust for 40 years. Now, I don't like H.R. 40. It's just a study, it ain't reparations. But it could have been studied already, and we could have had our reparations. So the Democrats, I ask them why they have not delivered for their most loyal voting base. So What am I doing federally? I'm holding Democrats accountable.
All right. We got a lot of callers, little bit of time. Levon, thank you, Ralph in Illinois. Levon in Reno, Nevada. Welcome. Hi. Come on. We got a lot of callers, Levon. All right. Let's move on to Deborah in South Carolina, which is a constituent, I'm sure. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I just tuned in, so I didn't hear the whole thing. But I want to say I grew up in the county where the water's bad, and I didn't even know what was going on until maybe a year or two ago. And so he's right on point with that. But what I want to know is, we get people who run for office all the time. And then I want to know what you're going to do if you lose. Because we have a lot of people who run against incumbents, and then we don't see them again until they come back and want our vote the next time. So I want to know what you're going to do if you lose. Are you going to continue to have a platform so that people who agree with you can join in and we can really make some change even if you lose? Or are you just going to disappear like people who lose do in South Carolina?
I want to just jump in and say he's teaching. Okay, he is serving our children every day for 20 years? So he is never disappearing. Years. He is serving our children. Okay, so now he's saying I'm gonna do double duty. So let's just be clear about that.
Okay, all right, Tanya.
Thank you, Deborah. And Deborah, I'm sorry that everyone should have clean water. That's a shame that Black people who built the nation can't even get clean water. But Deborah, let me tell you, before I only decided to run 3 years after pushing for reparations, okay? That's how I got into this movement. I came across the reparations movement. I saw that Japanese Americans had gotten reparations from the federal government. Native Americans, all of them, different tribes have gotten them. Some are still getting them. Holocaust survivors get reparations. The U.S. made Germany give the Jews reparations, but the U.S. hasn't done reparations for Black Americans. When I saw that no one was standing up, Deborah, I said I decided to run. And Deborah, I understand what you're saying, but let me tell you, if I lose, y'all ain't seen the last of me. I'm going to
let me make a suggestion. You know, you talked about land grants and the thing that is abhorrent there with people not being able to hold on to their land, bad water. All those things are state-run issues. Those are state legislative issues. Why not run for state legislation, state legislator in South Carolina?
Because, see, that's the issue right there. When the state does not perform well, the federal government has the responsibility to do right. I've followed some of your tweets. Kamala Harris got praise when she called out Joe Biden, who I can't stand. When he was like, I'm sorry?
Kamala. Let's yeah.
Kamala. Or, yeah, Kamala.
Or Vice President. That's even better. Vice President Harris. Yeah.
I mean, well, yeah.
She is Vice President.
When she called out Joe Biden, when he tried to say he wanted state control over school, she was like, when the state doesn't perform, the federal government is supposed to act. Likewise, it is at a state level that Black Americans were being mass incarcerated. But Biden wrote a bill that funded it on the state level. It's at the state level Black Americans are losing land. Federal authority is powerful. Federal legislation trumps state power. The state government can only add to it, not take it away. So even though some of these things, not all of them, are state level matters, that doesn't excuse the federal government for not acting on their behalf.
I agree.
But I guarantee you,
could you be effective? Would you be effective as a state legislator?
No. Because I'm not just running. Look at what my shirt says. My shirt doesn't say repair Black South Carolina to fix America. My shirt says repair Black America to fix America. So I am not just going to be content with my people in South Carolina doing well. My people throughout all of America to do well. And I want to go back to what I'm about to say. If it was white children getting their white families getting their land stolen, white people living in areas with dirty, toxic water, you better believe the federal government would have acted already. So my people deserve just as good of a response.
Okay. James in Florida. Hey, James.
Hey,
Wow.
thanks a lot. I really appreciate the show, and thanks for having the most important network and station on the planet, Ms. Hunter and and your team. To the guest, first, he's saying some really things that need to be said and heard. I know it's uncomfortable for us because we like to celebrate our heroes who've been there for the long haul, and let's face it. The senator he wants to replace, his name has name recognition. But if you win, if this brother is able to win, I have to assume that there are going to be people within the Democratic Party and Republican Party who's not going to like him there and may do what they can to make him a one-term candidate. Is there things that he can do and imagine himself doing even if he's not able to be reelected in that one time? Or is that something even we should consider when you have such radical thinking getting in a position?
That's a great question, James. One, it's a shame that standing up for what is right in America, a country that preaches righteousness, is considered radical when you're doing it for Black Americans. If I was talking like this for Asians, people would be okay with it. Talking for Black Americans, people say you're radical. And that is what I've been called. But let me tell you something, though. Here's the thing. One, we forget, apparently, Democrat, Republican, Green, Libertarian, Independent, whatever. The people have the power. I may not have any Democrat, Republican that want to work with me, but I will have their people in their districts who want to work with me because that's how I got in this far. Okay. So another thing is there are two ways to get things done, James, the feather or the hammer. I will try to use the feather. What is good for Black America is good for all Americans. The data shows that. If I go to people and try to get them to sign on my legislation and they don't agree, I'm going to then pull out the hammer, meaning I'm going to pull out my credit card, I'm going to buy an airplane ticket, and I'm going to fly to these Democrats, first of all, their district, because they get mainly Black votes, and I'm going to let their constituents know, here's what I'm trying to do, here's our condition, here's the bill I'm writing, your congressman or congresswoman does not support it, hold them accountable. So I am not going to try to beg people who should be wanting to do good things for people to do good things. Go to their constituents and ask them to explain to their constituents why they aren't doing good things.
Okay. I'm not 100%. I don't know what's going to happen, but June 14th, South Carolina is going to let us know, Marcel, whether your message has penetrated their souls, because that's what it's going to take. We're creatures of habit. In primary elections, we don't tend to show up for. You're right. An uptick in votes means good things for you, possibly. And early voting is still going on in South Carolina until June 10th. So if you are in South Carolina, you like the message that you're hearing, do what you can do, and then go to Marcel4Congress.com. Is that where people go to support you?
No, my website is Marcel, F-O-R, Congress.com. Okay. So you want to go to my website, Marcel, L-A-R-C-E-L, for Congress.com.
F-O-R.
My entire platform is on there.
Okay, because, and then read the platform, because he's put some thought into it. He had answers. I thank you for being here. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
And if anything, you are our Overton window. You are pushing us in the direction we need to get to.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mrs. Pinkin. It really is good to have support, and I get support from all types of people, white Republicans to older Black Democrats. People are liking my message. Sometimes we just got to be brave enough to speak the message and to stand on it.
Yeah. So, wait. Before you go, Tim Scott, you like him? Is he somebody that is working for us?
I don't like Tim Scott, but I'll tell you what, though. Tim Scott, in his short period of time, he's talking more about black land theft than Clyburn has in his entire 30 years. No, I'm not a fan of Tim Scott, but the fact is a fact. Tim Scott is working on heirs' property issues. So while Clyburn sat back and watched us lose 15 million acres of property of 16 million and did nothing, at least Tim Scott, a Republican, is talking about saving black land. It's a fact. People don't have to like these facts I'm speaking, but you can't change it. Oh, well. I don't like it either, but it is what it is. That's Clyburn's fault for letting Tim Scott talk more about doing things for black people than he has in 30 years. That's his fault.
I can't even argue with that. Marcel, good luck to you. I'll see you in the South Carolinian streets if I ever make it that way post-COVID.
Some shrimp and grits. We do brunch one day and some shrimp and grits.
Are you making the shrimp and grits, though? Are you making the shrimp and grits?
No, you don't want to know. I'll get my mother or my sister.
Okay, all right.
I'm about to tell them to do it.
All right, I appreciate it because I do love me some grits.
Me too. Okay, y'all.
All right, bye-bye. Tanya, when we come back, let's continue because I feel like the methodology, we need more of that. Nonpartisan issues. Oh, are you for this? Are you for this? No. What are you going to do about this, and this? You haven't done anything? Goodbye. That's got to be the way we do it. All right, when we come back.